Jesus. Jesus. Fresh is a brand new horror thriller which just had its premiere at Sundance not too long ago, and it just launched on Hulu just earlier today at the time of recording. This was directed by Mimi Cave, and it stars Daisy Edgar-Jones and the electrifying Sebastian Stan. The horrors of modern dating are seen through the eyes of a young woman played by Daisy Edgar-Jones who is battling to survive her new boyfriend's unusual appetites. And that's all I can really say about this without going too deep into spoilers, guys, but one thing I will tell you, do not go watch a trailer for this thing. Don't even attempt to search this thing up on YouTube. You should have no clue what this thing is all about going in. Take it from me, that's how I went into looking at Fresh, and honestly, looking at this with fresh eyes, no pun intended, of course. Maybe a pun intended. But all I'll tell you is, if you guys have Hulu, this is one that you should not miss. There's a reason why this was so acclaimed at Sundance. Many reasons, actually, which we'll get to. I think this is one of the strongest films we've gotten so far in 2022 up to this point. This is one of the most unique horror films I've seen in a long, long time. Mimi Cave's direction really adds a lot to it. I will say that the film does have a lot of red herrings. You think it's going to go in one direction, and it turns out, oh no, there's a huge reversal. But that's what makes this movie fun. Like, just when you think you have this film figured out, like you predict, oh yeah, that's what's going to happen. But no, just when you think it's going one way, boom, it just veers in the completely opposite direction with a gigantic reversal, or an it, as one of my film professors from college would say. And that really comes down to a really tight screenplay by Lauren Kahn. This is actually surprisingly a pretty witty film for the content matter. Yes, this is a scary movie first, and this is a horrific situation, which is kind of a cautionary tale about dating apps and whatnot. But I think that's what makes the movie so relatable to a lot of people, and honestly, it makes people second guess a lot of things. Obviously, I'm not saying that all people on dating apps are horrible people, but like, you just gotta be careful when you do stuff like that, because you'll wind up in Sebastian Stan's house and he will freaking come after you with a freaking, like, cleaver or whatever. I don't know. And I hope I'm not gonna go too deep into spoilers or ruin it for people saying the word cleaver on camera, but I mean, I don't know how else to describe it, guys. This is a weird feature. Sebastian Stan is an actor I've respected for a long time. I obviously love him as Bucky Barnes / the Winter Soldier. I've loved him in a lot of other films like The Devil All the Time. He was great in that film, which is still on Netflix if my memory serves me right. He is absolute dynamite in this film, and I honestly think this is a career best performance. And I don't think that the Academy is going to recognize this a year down the line even, but if I were putting the Oscar committee together a year in advance, Sebastian Stan would be on my short list in the early running for Best Actor, because he freaking knocked it so far out of the park. You could see it, you know, going over the skyscrapers, and then it just disappears. Weird analogy notwithstanding, he was absolutely awesome. And I just couldn't help but laugh at how off-putting he was throughout this entire film. It's unlike anything I've ever seen from him, and you certainly get funny moments with him as Bucky, but nothing quite like this. If I could compare it to anything else, it would be like Christian Bale in American Psycho, almost. I'm not saying that this performance is nearly as good as Christian Bale was in that film, but I mean, that performance back in the year 2000 turned a lot of heads. All I'm saying is, I think this role is gonna work wonders for Sebastian Stan's career down the line. But the amazing thing is, this is not his story. We follow a character named Noah, who's played by Daisy Edgar-Jones, masterfully, by the way. Oh my god, what a revelation she is. And she has to do something that is very difficult for a lot of actors to do. James Caan pulled off something similar in the movie Misery, but there's a lot of points where she has to act like she's someone else while she's still acting as that character. It's a very fine line that she's treading here, but I think she does so masterfully. And her and Sebastian Stan have phenomenal chemistry, might I add. I mean, there's not a whole lot for me to complain about with this film. I think this is a masterfully directed film. I think there's a lot of really creepy looking shots. I will warn you, don't eat anything while you're watching Fresh, because it will make you feel nauseous, guaranteed. I'm really trying hard not to spoil anything, guys. It's harder than it looks. But yeah, really good direction, a tight screenplay, magnificent musical score as well by Alex Sommers, and the soundtrack choices that are thrown in here are extremely fun. If I were to nitpick one thing about this film, I do think that it's a tad bit too long. I think there's points in the second act where the movie does tend to meander quite a bit. I know I just praised the shit out of this screenplay and how nice of a pace it had, but I think if certain scenes were tightened up in the middle portion there, I think it would have made for a stronger viewing experience. But overall, I mean, Fresh is a really, really great film. I mean, this is something, again, that you have to go in with an open mind. Not a lot of people are going to enjoy Fresh at all. And a lot of people really weren't going to enjoy American Psycho a lot 22 years ago. But I think if you go in not expecting anything, if you go in not seeing a single trailer, not knowing what it's about, I think you're in for one wild ride. I'm going to give Fresh an A. You know, on all the review aggregate websites, this is certainly going to be certified fresh over there. Too soon? Too soon? Yeah, too soon. Yeah, see ya. I wouldn't do that to you guys without telling you guys. Let me know what you thought of Fresh down in the comments section below. Did you guys check this film out at Sundance? Are you guys going to be seeing it on Hulu this weekend? Regardless of whether or not you've seen it up to this point, let me know what you thought of it all down there, because I love starting the discussion with you guys, and continuing it with you makes things all the more fun. And hey, if this is your first time visiting the channel, what the heck are you waiting for? Go ahead and smash that subscribe button as hard as you possibly can, along with that notification bell right next to it. It's right there. Go ahead and hit it as many times as you want, you know, so you can stay in the loop. And don't forget, smash that like button as well on your way out. It really, really helps get this content out there to more people. And of course, stay tuned for my reviews of Turning Red and The Atom Project. Both of those films hit streaming services next weekend. Premium streaming services, of course. Guys, y'all are the best. Thank you all so very much again for supporting the channel. And with all that being said, back talk, commence.